Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining All In Together as we talk to Brittany Masalosalo, Chief Public Policy Officer for HP. She will be part of our panelists during Black Women Lead coming up on June 15th, and you're not going to want to miss it. Thank you so much, Brittany, for sitting down with me today.
Hi, Kira. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited for Black Women Lead.
Awesome. We're thrilled to have you. It's going to be a great day. Can you tell everyone a little bit about your experience and your career path as a Black woman in America?
Yeah, sure. I've had a little bit of a non-traditional career path, but very interesting, very interesting. So I started my career initially in the military. I actually dropped out of college in my late teens and decided that I wanted to see the world and I wanted to serve. So I joined the Army. I enlisted when I was 19 years old, and I ended up serving in uniform about 13 years. During my career in the military, I was able to have the transformational experience of doing 2 combat deployments. It completely changed my perspective on life and just how I orient myself, not just as a professional, but also personally. I ended up stationed in Belgium for a few years, and that was where I was introduced to the policy world. And that's where I really fell in love with policy. I got new exposure to how policy making happens and then how it's implemented practically. And after spending some time in Belgium, I came here to Washington, D.C., and I was able to work at the Pentagon for a few years, working in the Office of the Secretary of Defense, which was an amazing opportunity and a kind of next higher up echelon of policy making. After leaving the Pentagon, I had the remarkable opportunity to go work for then Vice President Biden in his foreign policy shop, where I was able to enhance my exposure to policymaking, get a better understanding, and get a new level of expertise in how policymaking happens. And that was the point where it really solidified for me that this was the area that I wanted to work in and that I knew I wanted to continue to serve in some capacity. After spending some time at the White House, I decided to make a major career transition and come out of the government and come into the private sector. So my first private sector job was with 3M, where I led the international government affairs team. That was an amazing opportunity. I got to build out a commercial diplomacy program where essentially I became a 3M ambassador, working really closely with the diplomatic community here in Washington. And I worked on issues ranging everywhere from DE&I to traditional business issues like tax and trade, international relations, foreign policy, national security, all these areas where people don't always think that companies, at least companies that aren't defense contractors, get to work in. After spending some time at 3M, the opportunity came available for me to come over here to HP. So now I'm at HP and I'm the Chief Public Policy Officer, which means I lead all of our global government affairs and advocacy work. So that looks like us going out and helping to shape the policy landscape in a way that helps advance not only our business, but also our values. And this is work that is extremely fun. It's personally fulfilling for me because not only do I get to work on some of the business issues like tech issues and innovation issues, but I also get to work on value-oriented issues like economic empowerment for women and racial equality and social justice. These are issues that are important to our stakeholders, to our customers, to our investors. So I get to work on them. And so it's a really wonderful alignment between my own personal values and passions and what the company wants to do. So here I am. My experience as a Black woman, I mean, it's been an interesting ride. I think all of us have little interesting nuggets of where being a Black woman has colored our experiences. And for me, it's no different. I think for me, starting very early on, I grew up in the unfortunate circumstance like a lot of Black women did, where there was systemic racism in the communities that I grew up in Colorado, economic disempowerment, spent some time in the foster care system. And that really set my foundation in youth, which isn't the best foundation to start on. So it created a lot of opportunities for me to learn resiliency, to develop it out, and now hoping to pass that on to others. Another key experience of my Black woman, me being a Black woman in America and being a Black corporate executive, is that I have a personal passion for advocating for other Black women. I don't feel like this journey is mine alone. And so I want to pull as many others along as I can, especially those of us that share this passion.
Lift while you climb. I love
That's
it.
exactly it. Lift while you climb.
You've had such an interesting career path and so many varied focuses. How do you think your military experience prepared you for corporate America?
So I'll start by saying I joined the military when I was really young. I was 19 years old. And I had an amazing military career that allowed me to see the world. One of the things that I was able to gain from the military and the time that I spent living and serving abroad was a sense of cultural competency and an enhanced appreciation for the value of diversity. The military brings together people from all walks of life, race, creeds, genders, religions, and we're forced to find a way to work together for the common good, for our common mission, and serve alongside one of each other. Transformational experience that I don't think enough people get, enough Americans in particular, don't get that experience. The military also cultivated who I am as a leader. I developed my leadership style by serving alongside some of the most brilliant military leaders our country has ever seen. And I was given the opportunity to learn from them, and it helps me evolve my own leadership style, which is a combination of productive, efficient, high paced, but also compassionate and people oriented and caring.
How do you use all of your various experience to shape the way that you advocate for things that you care about as a young executive?
Well, number one, when I talked about that cultural competencies, one of the key competencies that I gained throughout my career is the ability to listen intently, and listen generously. So when I think about advocating for the issues that I care about, I know that my care does not sit in isolation just with me. So one of the things that I like to do is listen to others, hear what they care about, why they care about it, because that helps strengthen me as an advocate, because then I have a more well-rounded experience. Also, I'm in a very fortunate position in being a corporate executive with a pretty powerful corporate brand behind me. And I take every opportunity that I can to use that platform and use that pedestal to really maximize on the power that it has.
It's so incredible, the work that you're doing. How can Black and Brown consumers advocate for the issues that they care about or changes among corporations that they want to see?
So this is something that I love. I love when I see consumers or shareholders or even community activists look to get engaged with corporate priorities. Because at the end of the day, as companies, we have to prioritize the cares of our customers and our shareholders, because if we don't, we won't be a company. So when our customers reach out and tell us diversity is important to me, environmental considerations are important to me. When we start get that outreach in mass, we don't have a choice but to listen. It also gives power and strength when we're going out to advocate against these priorities, especially against antagonistic views. To the extent that we can show that diversity, equity, and inclusion, or climate change considerations have real business implications for us, it justifies us being able to be forward leaning on that work. So I would recommend all of HP's customers, one, continue to be proud of the work that HP is doing in leaning forward in this area, but continue making it known that you're proud. Also, leverage your purchasing power. Leverage it extensively to the degree that you can, and making sure that your dollars are going to the companies that align with your values.
So power not only in the number of voices, but in the numbers coming out of your wallet.
Exactly. Use your purchasing power. That is exactly right.
I love it. We've seen a lot of economic shifts in the landscape over the last couple of months, with major cuts throughout tech, finance, and beyond. How can companies ensure that diversity, equity, and inclusion programs continue to sustain and grow as focus and priorities shift?
So I think that a lot of companies are going to have to grapple with this, or are continuing to grapple with this. Because like I mentioned before, as companies, we have to prioritize our returns to our shareholders and our value to our customers. And sometimes that looks like making really, really tough decisions. But I also think at the same time, every single company has its own set of corporate values. And those values have to be rooted in what's important to all the stakeholders, all the shareholders, all of the employees, all of the customers. And one of those values should definitely be diversity. And when a company says that diversity is a core value of how they operate, how they serve their customers and others, they really got to put their money where their mouth is. They have to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. And part of walking that walk means that you're allocating the resources to be able to fund your DE&I programming. I know that sometimes it's hard, but at this point, it's a business imperative. And that goes back to my previous point about our customers making sure that they're leveraging their purchasing power. Because when they do that, they make sure it's a business imperative for us. And so that's what companies need to do. They need to map out how much of their internal spend can be mapped forward to what they're doing with the DE&I, what they're doing with ESG, what they're doing on climate change. And once you map that out, you'll see that the return on investment is significant.
Thank you so much. This has been such an interesting and enlightening conversation, and I hope everyone watching at home feels the same. If you want to hear more conversations like this, you're not going to want to miss Black Women Lead in Washington, D.C. at the Howard Theater on June 15th. You can register on All In Together's website, aitogether.org. Thank you so much, Brittany.